Hello everyone. In this video, we will do the daily current affairs analysis of 20th November 2021. So, these are the topics which we will discuss: Guru Nanak Dev Jayanti, Puri Heritage Corridor, how a law is repealed, about the PESA Act, about the Operation Sankalp. So, first topic is Guru Nanak Dev Jayanti. So, it is from GS paper 1 and topic is Indian culture. So, why it is in the news? The birth of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, also known as the Guru Nanak's Prakash Utsav and Guru Nanak Dev Ji Guru Purab, is commemorated on Guru Nanak Dev Ji Jayanti on the full moon day of Kartik month, also known as Kartik Purnima. Guru Nanak Jayanti is observed. Guru Nanak's disciples will commemorate Guru Nanak's birthday on November 19, 2021. Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the first of the 10 Sikh Gurus, was born on this day 552 years ago. Guru Nanak is a Sikh Guru who was born in 1469 and died in 1538. So, the Guru Nanak Dev's biography. The Guru Nanak Dev was born in a village near Lahore called Talwandi Raevo. It was renamed later as Nankana Sahib. In the 16th century, he pioneered interfaith communication and met with most of the religious denominations of the day. The Adi Granth, produced by the 5th Sikh Guru Arjan Dev, includes his literary writings after the additions made by the 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh. It is known as Guru Granth Sahib. Teachings of Guru Nanak, peace and harmony for all. Guru Nanak was a staunch advocate for equality. He aspired to establish a casteless society with no hierarchy. This is, one of the most significant concerns associated with the Indian society now, that there exists various divisions in the Indian society at both intercaste and the intracaste level. So thus the teachings of Guru Nanak can be quite helpful to deal with such issues. So he was unconcerned by differences and numerous identities based on caste, creed, religion, and language. Preposterous is caste, silly the distinction of birth he had declared. All beings find refuge in the Lord. This is, one of the most significant teachings, that all men, all human beings, to say that, can do the devotion of God regardless of the caste in which they are born or the gender they are associated with. It doesn't matter. All the human beings are equal and they can equally show their devotion to the God. So how can they be lesser when they give birth to men? The Guru Nanak asks of women. Women and men both benefit from God's grace and are equally accountable to Him for their conduct. So, this is also particularly important as the government has been focusing a lot on the women empowerment issue. So, that is a very significant concern as of now, that there are good number of cases of female infanticide, female feticide, low child education of female child as compared to the male child. They are married off at a very low age in some parts of the country now also, and the nutritional aspects of women are also now not that at par with the men. So in all these situations and all these problems, they can be dealt with if the teachings of Guru Nanak are taken into consideration with full dedication. So the concept of living together and working in harmony is a recurring theme in Guru Nanak's songs. He established three Sikhism principles: Naam Japna, that is showing devotion to the God; Kirat Karni, and Vandchakna. He purposefully went on long excursions called Udazain to far areas with his two friends Bhai Bala, a Hindu, and Bhai Mardana, a Muslim, to hold discussions with many saints and Sufis, as well as those charlatans who claimed spiritual powers and had a social following. The importance and significance of his teachings are as follows. Guru Nanak Dev Ji, saint composer and one of the great spiritual teachers, has more importance today than ever before in terms of his ideas, thoughts, and teachings. They have the ability to promote global peace, equality, and prosperity. So the source of this news is PIB. Next is Puri Heritage Corridor. It is from GS paper 1 and topic is Indian culture. Will cover the most important parts of art forms, literature and architecture. So the context is in Odisha, the Puri Heritage Corridor is being built at a cost of rupees 800 crore. What exactly is the Puri Heritage Corridor Initiative? So, the Puri Heritage Project, which began in 2016, intends to turn the holy city of Puri into a worldwide tourist destination. In total, 22 separate projects will be implemented in stages. The state government's augmentation of basic amenities and development of heritage and architecture in Puri Abada scheme has provided funding. Puri Lake will be redeveloped and the Musa River will be revitalized as part of the project. So when the tourist attraction of this place increases, so it will have a lot of benefits. It will have benefits on multiple scales, like the economic situation of the Puri region, and also the state of Odisha will improve, which will have a direct bearing on enhancing the economic productivity of India at large, and also the per capita income of the local population will increase, because the livelihood opportunities will be generated. Because when the tourists come in, the instances of street vendors, shopkeepers, local shopkeepers, the hotels, restaurants, and the hospitality chains, the hospitals, the various entertainment places like theaters, etc., they also grow. And when all this grows, so the per capita income of the local population increases, which ultimately enhances the economic productivity of the state, and also the tax prospects of the government increases, because as the income of the population increases, so both their saving rate and their spending, both of them increase, which ultimately enhances both the direct tax prospects like the income tax, and also the indirect tax prospects like the customs duty, the excise duty on petrol and diesel, the GST, goods and services tax. All this is enhanced. So when government has higher money to spend through improved tax prospects, so it will have a better chance to spend on both critical and non-critical infrastructure like health, education, sanitation, housing, and water conservation, which will ultimately enhance the ease of living of the people, which is the ultimate aim of governance. And thus the government's emphasis on sabka saath, sabka vikas, and sabka vishwas will improve. And also the promises of social, economic, and political justice, which is a part of the preamble of the Indian Constitution, they will also be met at a very substantial rate. And thus the prospects of an Atmanirbhar Bharat will increase, and India will move towards reaching a status of a $5 trillion economy by 2024. So all this is interlinked. That is why the government has been focusing focusing a lot on such minute initiatives. Okay, so about the Puri temple, and also the Puri temple is a showcase of the rich cultural heritage of India, which showcases the architectural marvel of the ancient people or the ancient rulers, which is also a very important thing from the historical, strategic, and cultural point of view. Okay, so Puri Jagannath Shrine is a Hindu temple in Puri, India, located in Odisha. So it is an important Vaishvanite temple in Puri, Odisha, dedicated to Jagannath, a manifestation of Shri Krishna. King Anantvarman Chodganga Dev of the Eastern Ganga dynasty is thought to have built in Puri, India. Nagara is a type of architecture. Puri Rath Yatra is a pilgrimage to Puri, India. Puri's heritage route. So source of this news is Indian Express. Next is how a law is repealed. So it is from GS paper 2 and topic is Parliament and state legislatures, structure, functioning, business behavior, powers and privileges, etc. So context: Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced the removal of 3 contentious farm regulations in his November 19 address to the nation. He promised agricultural organizations contesting the laws that the legislative process to remove them would be finished in the Parliament's next winter session. What were the agricultural laws that were repealed? They are as follows: Farmers Produce, Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act 2020, which aims to allow agricultural produce trade outside of the existing APMC, Agricultural Produce Market Committee mandis. Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Act 2020, which aims to provide a framework for contract farming. The Essential Commodities Amendment Act 2020, which aims to remove commodities such as cereals, pulses, and sugar from the list of essential commodities. So, what does it signify when a law is overturned? One method of nullifying a law is to repeal it. When Parliament determines that the statute is no longer necessary, it is overturned. Legislation can also include a sunset clause, which specifies a date after which it will no longer be valid. How does the government get rid of a law? So the government has two options for repealing the laws. It can introduce a bill to repeal the 3 laws, or it can issue an ordinance that must be replaced with a bill within 6 months. Parliament has the same ability to repeal as it does to create a law under the Constitution. The Repealing and Amending Act, which gives Parliament the right to establish laws, also gives the legislative body the power to repeal them. The Act was first passed in 1950 and it repealed 72 statutes. A law can be repealed in its entirety, in part, or only to the extent that it is in conflict with other laws. What steps are involved in repealing a law? Laws can be abolished in one of the two ways: through ordinances or legislation. If an ordinance is utilized, it must be replaced within 6 months by a legislation passed by Parliament. The repealed law can be reinstated if the ordinance fails due to Parliament's failure to adopt it. The government can also introduce legislation to overturn farm laws. Before it takes effect, it must be passed by the both houses of Parliament and gain the President's approval. A single piece of legislation may eliminate all 3 agricultural laws. Typically, repealing and amendment bills are introduced for this purpose. So the prelims hot link topics are: what exactly are APMCs, how are they governed, a brief description of the Model Contract Farming Act. The Essential Commodities Amendment Bill 2020 allows for price range volatility. Under the Essential Commodities Amendment Bill 2020, the stock limit restriction will not apply to other important aspects of the bills. So source of this news is Indian Express. Next is about the PESA Act. So it is from GS paper 2 and topic is government policies and interventions for development in various sectors. So the context is as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, a one-day national conference on the provisions of the Panchayats extension to scheduled areas Act 1996 PESA was held to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the PESA Act. About the PESA Act, the PESA Act of 1996 is a federal law that was enacted in 1996. The Panchayats Extension to Scheduled Areas Act 1996 PESA Act is a law created by the Indian government to ensure self-governance for people residing in India's scheduled areas through traditional Gram Sabhas. Parliament passed it in 1996 and it went into effect on December 24, 1996. In India, PESA is regarded as the cornerstone of tribal legislation. PESA acknowledges the existing decision-making structure and advocates for people's self-governance. Background: the 73rd Constitutional Amendment was passed in 1992 to enhance local self-governance in rural India. A three-tier Panchayati Raj institution was made into legislation as a result of this modification. However, under Article 243M, its application to scheduled and tribal areas was limited. The Panchayat extension to scheduled areas PESA Act 1996 was enacted in response to the Bhuria Committee's recommendations in 1995 with the goal of providing tribal self-rule for people residing in India's scheduled areas. The Gram Sabha has absolute powers under the PESA, although the state legislature has given it an advising role to ensure that panchayats and Gram Sabhas work properly. Gram Sabha's authority cannot be revoked by a higher authority and it will maintain its independence throughout. Gram Sabhas have the following powers and functions: land purchase, resettlement and rehabilitation of displaced persons are all subject to required consultation. Traditional beliefs and indigenous communities' cultures must be safeguarded. Minor forest produce ownership. Local problems are resolved. Land encroachment is avoided. Village market management. Right to regulate liquor production, distillation, and prohibition. Controlling money lending is a difficult task. Any additional scheduled tribes related rights. PESA related issues. State governments are required to establish state laws in accordance with this national statute for their scheduled areas. As a result, the PESA was only partially implemented. In Adivasi areas like as Jharkhand, the partial implementation has harmed self-governance. PESA failed to deliver according to many experts, due to a lack of clarity, legal flaws, bureaucratic indifference, and lack of political will, opposition to change in the power structure, and so on. According to social audits undertaken across the state, several developmental initiatives were approved on paper by Gram Sabha without any debate or decision making taking place. So the prelims hot link topics are about PESA, its characteristics, social audits. So the source of this news is Times of India. Next is the Operation Sankalp. So it is a prelim specific topic. As part of the Operation Sankalp, the INS Trikant is currently stationed in the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman after explosions on board two oil tankers in the Gulf of Oman amid rising tensions between Iran and United States, Operation Sankalp was launched in June 2019. The Indian Navy is working hard to keep a frontline ship in the region to ensure safe and secure trade, boost maritime community confidence, and contribute to regional maritime security. So source of this news is this article published on uniindia.com. So thanks a lot for watching the analysis video. Have a nice day.